President Trump unloading on Anthony Fauci as newly released diary entries showed a pandemic-era doc's obsession with his rise to fame as he pushed for the country to be shut down. Watch this.
When he was with Biden, he was like the god. When he was with me, he wasn't even close, and I wasn't very close to him. He wanted everything closed, and it just turned out that closing wasn't so good because, you know, it's very interesting. Some of the states that fared the worst in terms of the spread were actually closed. They did a lot of damage in a lot of different ways.
And while Americans were 6 feet apart, Dr. Fauci was rubbing shoulders with celebrities and media elites. One note shows the doc hosted CNN's Jake Tapper for dinner in October 2020, just days after telling Americans to skip Thanksgiving gatherings, writing, quote, "Had dinner at my home with Jake and Jennifer Tapper. Relaxed, good time. Jake clearly believes that Trump is totally nuts." Fauci also acted like Hollywood's personal doctor, taking calls from stars like Barbra Streisand, with one entry reading, "Had a great call with Barbra Streisand. She wanted to know if it was okay to get the mRNA vaccine. I told her yes." We then started discussing life in general. "I told her that I work listening to her songs on Alexa. She really did not know what Alexa was." All right, I'm not going to come to you, Greg, because it looks like you may go out of the picture after hearing that. I want to go to Jesse on this. Jesse, you know, at a time when we're hearing that the International Criminal Court is all over Bibi, right? Where are they on the fact that you have, what, 20 million deaths globally attributed to Chairman Xi? And if there's one American who can give us that story, he's about to get deposed under oath. What do you want to hear?
Well, and if he lies, he can be prosecuted.
That's right.
And so we also know we have evidence that he destroyed evidence. So if he comes out and tells Paul, "I didn't do it," boom, felony. You got him. Right. Americans are so jaded about politics because there's so much injustice and no one ever pays the price. I mean, this guy was wrong about everything, and it's all documented. It's like when you make one mistake, you could be like, "Yeah, I screwed up. I'm sorry." But if you made hundreds of mistakes and lots of people died, what do you say? At the very minimum, he should lose his medical license. And he actually had a vaccine injury at one point. And then he lied and said the vaccine's fine. Meanwhile, he had a clot. So all these stars are on his jock because they want him to be their personal doc. You know how it is. They call them the jock sniffers, the star fluffers, the groupies. This is him. All right.
Any more names?
He wants to be their personal doctor because he feels guilty that he blew it on the lab leak and is seeking fame and glory to treat a guilty conscience. And we all know how much the stars love the lockdowns. We could all go to our lake homes, our beach houses, and no one would bother us. So we wanted it to go on as long as possible. The only person we saw was our assistant, but then we kicked him right out of the house after they delivered our goods. His reputation now is in tatters, and probably that's the most painful thing. But the media is still covering for this guy because it doesn't even matter that 1 million Americans died. He got Trump out of office, and in a way, he was the bioweapon. He was the one thing that could take out Donald Trump. But you know what? Trump came back. I'm a little worried.
Like COVID.
He did. Long COVID, Jessica.
Donald Trump is long COVID.
He's long COVID for you. For others, we have antibodies.
So I'm glad you talked about reputation. Daniel, let me come to you because I want to stay in this Chinese thing because I really do feel like the PRC did a masterful job of changing that narrative. All of a sudden, we were talking about bat soup instead of the fact that there's 3 places on Earth where they have this kind of research, and one of them happens to be Wuhan. And one of them also happens to be, maybe inadvertently, funded by the star character tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Can he, in any way, shape, or form, revivify his reputation here?
I think it's going to be very difficult because, one, I wanted to ask you one thing. Could he plead the Fifth tomorrow?
Oh, it's a good question. He's not under indictment, so yeah, I guess he could. But
I guess he could. Well, it would be terrible, and then you just read into it what you want. I think the other thing is that there's true anger about all of this, from the people who lost loved ones, the people whose children were harmed, or the businesses that had to close, even though that business didn't have. And then when you read that we were criticized for being skeptical of 6 feet distance, turns out that was just an arbitrary number they pulled out of a hat. We were criticized for saying this market thing didn't make sense. The lab seemed to make sense. We would be super criticized by the media for that. And then also we were critical of the shutdown, the lockdown, and continuing on, especially for schools, again, criticized for that. So he did something that you're never supposed to do. He would go home and he would read the comments. And he fell in love with the comments.
Yeah.
And it's like, if my mom, like, a few years ago, she was like, Dana, they're saying really mean things about you on the internet. I'm like, Mom, you can't read the comments.
It's only Greg.
If you read the comments, you fall for it. So he was in his diary talking about President Trump being a narcissist and a liar. And now tomorrow you'll have this diary, which is on display for everyone to read, and they can probably come to that conclusion.
Yeah, I think it's going to be able. Jessica, let me ask you this. I mean, look, obviously the media was very much on his side. Has he lost that seat? What's it going to go with the media here?
Well, I think that there's going to be a push to look at the totality of Anthony Fauci's career, which spans, over 50 years, and a lot of very good things that he did, especially when it comes to the AIDS epidemic and being the chief architect of PEPFAR, which was, one of W's crowning achievements and is credited with saving 25 million lives. That's a really big deal. Treating Ebola patients himself, going back to the 1960s and leading this NIH team that repurposed cancer therapies to save the lives of people with a fatal rheumatological condition. The guy has done real stuff. The diary is obviously incredibly embarrassing. There are people at the highest levels of government, certainly of this government, who love it when someone famous tells them something nice. And I don't think that, we can hold that against him as like a bad doctor because he was into the fact that Barbara Streisand was asking him for advice. But the totality of the COVID epidemic is going to be on display for people. And like I said yesterday, it caused a huge fissure in this country. Absolutely massive, where people fall on this, what they think went too far, what didn't go far enough. And it made us all a little bit crazy. I mean, I remember there was a time where I thought it was like really cool to identify as a Cuomo-sexual because he was giving those great press conferences every morning and the whole country was taking it, right? In California, they'd wake up early so that they could listen to Andrew Cuomo.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.